Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my good friend, Lar Park Lincoln. I'm having Lar back on the show today. We're going to talk about a couple things to catch up on. She did this TV movie back in the late 80s, early 90s called Fatal Charm, which was directed by another guest of mine, Fritz Kirsch. I want to talk to her about that. I want to ask her about her mentorship from Jessica Lange. I want to ask her about working on 13 Fanboy recently, whatever she can talk about that, and a couple other things. She's a lot of fun. I love Lar so much, and during this time of quarantine, we need more creative content and more creativity going on during this coronavirus. So, here is my new interview with Lar Park Lincoln.
Hi there.
Hey, Lar, what's up?
Oh, hi. I am glad to finally catch up with you.
Oh, same here. God, this is just a strange time we're in, aren't we?
It is. I know you've been slammed. You've kept going, which is awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is just a clusterfuck we're in.
Do you have a day job that you are a part of aside from all your writing?
No, I been collecting disability since my car accident 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, at least that's solid for you right now. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I am so blessed, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's it's very hard for so many people. I've been doing the actors, of course, online and Zooming and all of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really fine. It's been fine.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, is everyone remaining calm?
Everyone is. Absolutely. I'm staying with my son and his wife in a town called Nacogdoches, Texas,
mm-hmm.
which is a very tiny town. It's a college town where he and his wife went to college. Mm-hmm. And they're finishing. She's finishing up a master's degree, so they're still here. And I'm at their lovely house with a pond right across the street where everybody's fishing, and my little Charlie gets to chase. He doesn't really care about the geese at all, but he's running around and having fun.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh my God, this is probably the first St. Paddy's Day in history where everyone drank at home.
Truly. My good friends Marianne Halpin, who's a photographer in LA,
mm-hmm.
amazing. She's done several of the books that I've been in. She and her husband are also performers, so they did a Zoom on St. Paddy's Day. So we all joined on Zoom, and he played and sang all the songs, and it was fun. I mean, what else can we do? I'm glad that most people are staying in and trying to stop it. So.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really good for everyone because the last, almost 2 decades now, ever since 9/11, everyone's been just so selfish and contained and in some cases mean-spirited. I think this is going to humble everybody.
Well, no doubt about that. My parents lived through the Depression, and Dad was in all the wars, and they had to deal with things a lot harder than what we're having to deal with. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible virus, and awful, awful. But at least we have conveniences at home that help everybody to stay in place. At mm-hmm. least we have that. And they didn't have that before. So when kids and when my teens and some of the different people were complaining so much about being so bored and tortured and all of this, I'm like, guys, at that time it was like, it's been like 2 days. So you guys are not. It's like you've been in, you haven't even noticed it, so stop. So I know, of course, it's gone on a little longer than we would like, but still, it's only been a matter of days. It hasn't been months, and it hasn't been years. And we're not Anne Frank living in an attic who can't move.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
If we're healthy, we need to just have a good attitude and be sure we don't spread it, and just keep a good attitude. That's the best we can do.
Mm-hmm. And I tell everyone this: sanitize your hands and clean out your belly button.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Especially if it's stinky.
Well, I would hope that it's not, but I don't care to know. So
Yeah. So last.
on the fans too, because we had. I know I can't. I had 2 cons canceled in March,
Right.
and from what I've seen, most of the cons are being incredibly gracious. But moving affects everyone. Moving the dates because people, everybody plans for something. So I know that's been hard on a lot of fans. I'm shooting quite a few cameos today, so
Oh, nice.
That's always fun, and just trying to bring some positive something to anyone.
Yeah, I'm just constantly podcasting, and I can't believe, I'm a couple of hundred away from, doing 1,000 already. I can't
Oh
believe it.
wow, that's super fab.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's only been 3 years coming up.
I can't believe it either. That is amazing. Congrats. Wow.
Thank you so much.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a lot can happen when you're living here in the countryside.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just amazing. It's just fantastic. My gosh, you've got a long list of interviews.
Yes, I sure do.
Okay.
And so the last time since we talked, I was going to be moving out to LA for a little while. And
right.
Yeah, oh my God, so much terrible stuff happened last May. Last May was like the worst May ever. Yeah, my mother and I we went out to LA in April, and we had a great time. And then in May, when we got back, so much bad stuff happened in just a couple of days. My mom took a fall at work, and she broke her shoulder.
Oh gosh.
Which is still giving her trouble to this day.
Of course it is. I can imagine.
Yeah, she's in the middle of suing her work right now.
Ugh.
And then the person I was going to be staying with in LA, she got in trouble with the law.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she got mixed up, drug-related stuff, and had her kid taken away from her and stuff. I think I really dodged a bullet there. I
think you did. Absolutely. You could have been right in the middle of that.
Yeah, that was scary. And then, let's see what else happened. I was supposed to shoot my own pilot for my own horror hosting movie show, but my quote-unquote mentor in stand-up comedy, he decided to pull out as producer, and I really didn't want to do it without him at the time. And so that didn't get underway. I was really upset about that.
Oh. Well, do you think he might come back, or?
No, I'm not even talking to him, and plus I've been hearing a lot of terrible things that he's been doing and stuff, so yeah, I'm done with him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in the last couple of months, I've been on a diet. I've lost about 25 pounds now.
Wow, that's fantastic. That is super. Good for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I went to get my physical back in November, and I went back in December, and my blood sugar was really high. It was like right on the cusp of pre-diabetes. So I just cut out sugar completely, and have been exercising. Unfortunately, I can't go to the gym during this time, but I'm just watching what I eat and stuff, and I'm feeling great. I got a long way to go, though, before I lose my goal, but I will. Yeah. I did back in 2006, 2007. I can do it again. The only difference is back then it was easier because I was a little younger, and now that I'm a little older, it's really hard, but I'm not going to give up.
No, and it's really nutrition. You can lose all the weight you want without exercise if you have the right nutrition, and then you can add exercise back in. I mean, it's very doable if you're eating correctly, which is hard. Yeah, it can be difficult, especially when we're tempted by so many different directions. But you can absolutely do it. You did it once, you can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I got all that good stuff going on. It's a very interesting time.
goodness, that's a lot. I know that you're going to do okay with it. I'm sure you are. I mean, it sounds like you're just going gangbusters the right direction. So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a few months back, I was interviewing Fritz Kirsch, and we talked about Fatal Charm.
Yeah, I loved doing that show.
Yeah.
What did he have to say?
Oh, he said that you were very lovely on that movie, and that you have a great sense of humor, and you made everyone laugh.
Well, I'm a prankster, so I do like doing pranks.
Oh, I love that. Love it.
Yeah, I do love doing that. He was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on that movie. It was with Amanda Peterson, and I got to drive a sports car around. I don't know where we were shooting, somewhere near the beach. This really fabulous little town near the beach, and maybe Brentwood. And it was fun. I liked doing that show. It was cool.
Yeah. This is one of those movies that predated the internet, in a sense that, you got to be careful with who you talk about without meeting long distance.
What do you mean?
The people that you get involved with without seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was really fun how he did it. You know what's odd is I don't remember my audition or anything for that. I don't know if I think I just got offered that role. I'm not really sure.
Huh.
I don't really actually remember it. But you know what I did the other day? Because Becca, my assistant, and I, my good friend, we went through her son as a teen, and he's so bored, about to have a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Like, fine, come clean out the garage, because I have 2 studios worth of equipment and stuff in there, and heavyweight curtains and all of it. So we had him in the garage for 2 solid days, and he wasn't bored those 2 days. And I knew that all of my scripts were out there, so I found all of these amazing scripts that I have, and it was so exciting. So Becca and I are going to set up an unboxing, and I'm going to go through them at the first time. So I only looked at the top 2, and I said, no, this is too exciting. Let's do this for the fans. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And while my Friday the 13th script is still missing, stolen, I think, many years ago.
Oh.
I did find House 2.
Nice.
Yeah, a couple of others with all of my original notes in it, and that's what I love. I kept them all in books and, 3 rings, and it's so much fun to see all of the notes on creating the character and then how you played it and how it turned out and all of those different things. It's so much fun. And I'll give you a super scoop if you want one.
Go right ahead.
After Friday 13th 7, I was offered 8. I was offered part 8. And it was more money than I'd ever seen in my lifetime. And they wouldn't let me see the script because they had this kind of a policy where they didn't show anybody the script, but they always killed the final girl off in the first few minutes of the next episode. And I never wanted Tina to die. I felt like she was a character that needed to live like Jason. She needed to continue on, his first real foe. And so I passed on it, and it was painful. It was really hard, but I wrote a part 8. And I took it in, registered with the Writers Guild of America, took it in and pitched it to Paramount, and they passed on it. And then I went to Princess Academy in Yugoslavia, and I found that original script in my handwriting and the typed version that went to the Writers Guild. And it is so much fun. I found the very original one I wrote way back then. So much fun.
That is
I'm gonna dig into that and see if there's any super fun pages that people would like to see copied. What I thought Tina would go on to do.
Yeah, that is so cool. Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I
never know what you'll unbox yourself. If you have time and you can go through your stuff, it's great.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see that. I mean, oh my God, that's amazing.
I know. It's really funny. So this is not funny, but just really, really cool to just go, oh my gosh, it's real heavy because it was handwritten and then it was typed up, right? So it was both of it all in this envelope. And I think it said the title is something like Revenge or something like that. I think it was something like that. I don't know. I don't actually remember. I've got to go read it all.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of where Tina would be today?
Yes, she would be where I had created. That part 8 took her into the next level of her life, but she was still a teen. She was probably going to be like 21 in part 8. And where I had wanted to take her at this time would be Tina becoming a psychiatrist herself.
Mm-hmm.
And married to Nick and divorced from Nick, but having a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And the daughter would have inherited her powers. And she and her daughter didn't get along. And so when they battled Jason at some point together, they end up, fixing that relationship. But yeah, I felt Tina definitely needed to go with Spike with her horrible stories of her young childhood.
Yeah, I jokingly always thought that Tina would end up with Jesse from Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Wait, which one's Jesse? I don't know that one.
Yeah, Mark Patton. He played Jesse in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and that movie and Friday Part 7, they both strayed from the formula.
Yeah,
so that's why. So that's why I always jokingly thought that, even though even though Jesse is kind of bisexual in the movie, and Mark is gay in real life. I just thought that would be really funny crossover there.
Well, yeah, of course, and then all the good work Kevin Spirits is doing. Kevin Blair, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see the amazing work he's doing. He took 5 Emmys last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're up for 8. And I'm an Emmy judge, which is so good. I don't judge his category.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is my second year getting to judge, and it is a blast. It's like, wow, I've made it. I'm getting to really look at all of these other actors, and it's so hard.
Now, that must be exciting to be an Emmy judge.
It's really cool. It's really cool, and I already have my dress for this year, but right now they've had to cancel and postpone, so
yeah,
I hope that it gets rescheduled.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know.
But do you have any other memories of Fatal Charm?
Yes, I do have a fun memory of Fatal Charm. It was when we were in the girls' shower,
Mm-hmm.
and we were at a school, and the character Amanda played, and I had been doing gym, and we ran track in the show. That's what our characters did as
Right.
school activity. And we had to go to the gym and look like we were going into the showers and coming out of the showers. Well, it was one of those setups where there was like a short brick wall that came about to our mid-shoulder, above the boobs and below the shoulder. And
Yep.
it was a wall that we would come out of one area with towels wrapped around us and walk past that wall.
That's actually my favorite scene.
No, are you kidding?
Nope.
Oh, my gosh.
Nope.
I don't even remember the scene. I just remember it's the incident while shooting the scene.
Yeah.
So we really couldn't do the walk by because no matter what they did, they could see our towels. There was really nothing we could do.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we weren't going to be on, camera, topless and nude, walking through a scene. So we got a whole bunch of the gaffer's tape and some other stuff, taped ourselves completely because we knew if they got a shot of that, at that time they weren't going to be able to erase the tape that was around our bodies, and had to drop the towels and walk a few feet back there behind that little wall. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it felt so dramatic. Yeah, it felt very dramatic. So I do remember that day.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, gosh, I'm not ready to go topless. Of course, now that I've had breast cancer, I wish I'd shown my boobs everywhere. At least I could still see them.
Yeah.
So I tell my daughter constantly, honey, you get pictures of those. They're not going to last. They're going to fall or they're going to fall off. I don't know which, but, get some shots of those bodies that you have when you're, 20. 5.
Well, you had very lovely shoulders, I have to say.
No tape around my shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoulders held up well.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And Amanda Peterson, what a tragic ending she had.
So tragic. So awful. And, we all know that fame and fortune do not equal happiness. They do not. And depressions and drugs and those things are conditions that happen to people. It happens to many, many people. Many of us, nobody ever even knows about that have any of those issues. So it was very tragic. I don't remember how old she was when she died. Do you?
Yeah, she was only like maybe 44.
So I don't really know what her life was in between, all of those different years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she was very talented though. And that whole year, that was the year of my accident. There's so many people I loved in cult movies that died that year, like Betsy Palmer, from Friday Part 1, and that was a year of destiny for me to, clean myself up after my accident and pursue this crazy business and start this podcast. It was just fate.
Well, you've done such an incredible job. I mean, you are really a great example for someone who says, I'm going to turn stuff around and I'm going to do it, because we all need that person that helps motivate us and coach us and guide us and direct us and support, and our cheerleader to help us reach places. We need that. We need people like that, and it sounds like you're doing a really good job of that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. It's just if I can, get all this weight off of me, I'll be a very happy guy.
You absolutely will. I have no doubt. One of the programs that I use and I love, and my friend is a coach in it, is called Code Red. Have you ever heard of it?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's a really, really good plan. It's all about food, sleep, and water. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So they have what's called a 10-pound challenge takedown. It's like $47. And that's it. You don't buy anything. There's no gimmicks to it. There's no drinks, pills. There's nothing to it. It's just a community of people who learn how to eat, how to sleep, and how to drink water. That's it. You should look it up. You should look it up. And they have so much information online that's free.
Code Red.
It's a really solid program. Really solid. Highly recommend.
Code Red. Okay.
Yeah. Code Red. Yeah. And I mean, I lost like over 40 pounds on it last year, and it's just fantastic. So highly recommend it. And you're already way ahead because you're off sugar. My gosh.
Yeah.
You're so far ahead because that's the hardest thing there is the sugar issue. I think that's the hardest.
That is the hardest. Yeah. It's funny. The other day, my mom and I, we were at the store and we realized, we could be locked up here all the way past Easter. So we got all this Easter candy.
Oh, that's kind of scary. What are you going to do with all that?
Well, I've eaten some already, but I haven't pigged out or nothing. It's moderation, Yeah. It's just complete moderation.
Yeah. And if you really want to drop the weight, make it total absence of sugar, because your body will start to just burn its own fat.
Yes. But also,
it's so hard. So hard.
And also, too, salad plays a big key in the weight loss, too, because it helps with your metabolism.
Salad itself?
Yeah, it affects your metabolism to the point where you burn off weight faster.
What are you putting in your salad?
I eat like spinach salad. I put some croutons and some Thousand Island dressing, and that's about it.
Well, both of those things, Tommy, do not speed weight loss. Croutons or Thousand Island dressing. You know that.
I ate that for a long time on my old diet, and I lost so much weight.
Well, you might not have been eating anything else.
Well, yeah, I did eat a lot of that.
that might have been it.
That is true, yes. Yeah.
So you guys are hunkered down well, yeah?
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm about 3 hours from home, but I wanted to be here with my son and his wife, and was fun doing. We had a large Zoom class last night, so
Mm-hmm.
first time I did a lot of people at once. I've been shooting everybody just one-on-one. Oh, here's a fun little thing that one of my students did.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Ethan Pogue, Pogue.
Yeah.
And he is a young one. He's like 13. And about 3 weeks ago, he booked the show very late on a Thursday night, and he's in Texas with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to fly out the next morning at the crack of dawn to get him to the set in Los Angeles, and we did all of that. We had 2 hours on the beach, and we were home within 20 hours. The whole trip was 20 hours long. It was nuts. And the show came out, and it's on YouTube, and it's got 1.2 million views right now.
Nice.
And it's really fun. It's called 10. What is the name of it? 10 foods that were invented by accident. I think is what it's called. And it's really cute. He was the kid that invented the popsicle.
Oh.
And dressed up in the 1800s kind of clothes, and has this little spot. And the production company was wonderful out in LA. They were really nice people. We had a really good day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
A
lot of views.
Yeah. I saw on Facebook a few months ago you went to a wedding.
A few months ago? Oh, my daughter's wedding in Paris?
Oh, yeah.
That was in October, yeah. I went to my daughter's wedding in Paris. She actually lives there. She's been there for over 7 years now.
Wow. She's lucky. Yeah. She's lucky she's not down here.
Well, actually, they left Paris the night before the first lockdown and drove to a gorgeous beach 4 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
And they got this Airbnb that they're in for a couple weeks, literally overlooking the ocean. They can't go down to the ocean or the beach because everything is closed. And in France, you have to carry around a special paper, basically like a permission slip. And so they are hunkered down there, all set up. And she's expecting my first grandbaby.
Oh, congrats.
No, it's so exciting. So, I'm so excited. And they're like, what do you want to be called? And I said, Grandma's fine. Grandma's just fine. Don't need to be any of those silly names, Mimi and Mumu and Nina. And no, I'll just be Grandma.
Yeah.
He's like, well, do you want to be Grandma? No, Grandma's good.
Wow.
You earned that title, so I'm gonna play with that.
Oh, that is so great. I've been to a lot of weddings, and only one has not ended in divorce.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I feel like I'm bad luck when I go to a wedding.
Gosh, that is just really awful. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. It's like, I go and I'm like, God, this is so beautiful, so elaborate. I hope this marriage lasts, and it never does.
Oh, well, maybe they're too elaborate and they were trying to cover up something. That can happen subconsciously too.
How do you mean?
Well, a lot of times, love needs to be very simple, and people get caught up in a whole lot of not only drama, but the wedding industry it's pretty extravagant today.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think a lot of people are just, maybe even subconsciously, but they may be covering up if there's any cracks in the relationship by overdoing the drama and extravagance of a wedding that's more superficial. And I see that happen, sure.
Yeah, what industry isn't extravagant now?
You're quite right about that.
I know. Even I was reading the other day. Willie Nelson, he's trying to make the marijuana industry less corporate. I don't know how you're going to do that now, because now that it's legal in so many places, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon.
Well, I think, Willie, since it finally got legalized, you need to shut up, bro, and just let it go.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime.
Yeah. I never thought I'd see it either. Oh my God. seeing all these reports of people being arrested for it. It's like, oh God, come on. And now I don't see any.
Oh, I know, right? It's like, yeah, people. I mean, to me, the ridiculousness of weed versus alcohol, and I'm like, are you kidding? No, it's just silly. So yeah, Willie, you better just zip your lips so they don't make it illegal wherever you live right now. Don't come after him.
Yeah, I smoke it. I'm almost out, unfortunately, because of being locked in.
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
Did you?
And so, what kind of a lock-in are you in? Are you the same as L.A. County? What kind of a shutdown do you have?
Well, Reading, it's a very conservative town, unfortunately, and we've only had like one person die here since the coronavirus started, and so we have a lockdown where it's minimal, and like you go to the store, there's maybe, I don't know, 25 people tops in there, and everyone's wearing a mask,
Yeah.
you know, but it's not like super major right now.
Yeah, that's what's scary is it can kind of come from nowhere and wreak havoc within just a few days. I saw today on the news that Prince Charles was diagnosed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm,
I was really, really terrified when Tom Hanks got it.
yeah.
'Cause that's my favorite actor, I'll tell you.
Oh, he's wonderful, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
so wonderful. What's the movie where is it called Castaway? Yeah.
Yeah.
And people were watching that and going, this is the ultimate isolation movie.
Yeah.
Or is it Frozen, which is the little cartoon character where she's basically lost away 17 years. It's like, they were coming up with all of these movies and things. I watched the series, not Pandemic. That's more of a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
The series, gosh, I can't believe I can't even think of the name, but it was about a major pandemic, and it's on now. I think it's over now because it's a few years old. One of the actors in it was just in a film that I coached called Assassin 33 AD,
Mm-hmm.
where he's playing a very average, normal kind of guy who ends up having to help Jesus carry the cross. And the movie is about it's science fiction. It's a Christian sci-fi movie, so it's really fun. It's about a group of terrorists that try to kill Jesus before he can resurrect. And so they are successful, but then these young genius scientists figure out how to go back in the time machine and make it not happen. So that actually comes out on Amazon in 2.5 weeks.
Wow. That sounds like that's going to piss a lot of people off, though.
Well, you know what? I'm sure it will. I mean, something always ticks somebody off. But it really is a super fun movie. There's tons of action, special effects, lots of characters, and it was a really fun movie. It goes so fast, so back and forth between all the different time continuums. That's what I was coaching, is all of the actors in it. It was really fun. I loved it. I loved the people, and it was really fun. So you might want to watch it. You might have fun watching it. The bad guys and the good guys, and trying to keep track of the time zones. That was fun.
Okay, what's it called again?
It's called Assassin 33 AD.
Assassin 33 AD. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it
Donnie
out.
Boaz, who plays our lead in the show. Well, there's a few guys that are the leads, but Donnie Boaz is a fabulous actor from Texas. He's now on Young and the Restless full time. And several of our actors, Jason Castro is who played Jesus. And I was originally brought on to coach him. He's not an actor. He's a singer. He was on American Idol, and he had the really long dreadlocks. And he was amazing. I think he was one of the runner-ups of one of the seasons. Very popular guy. When you look at him, you look him up, Jason Castro, he looks like he could have been Jesus so easily. And so they brought me on to coach him because he was a singer, not an actor. And he just really took to it fabulously and did an incredible job, really incredible job. And the Jesus has some comedy to him and some serious really good. Heidi Pratt, she was on the Hills, I think it was called. Yeah, the Hills. She's a reality star, kind of. And she played a very pivotal role in the opening and closing scenes of the movie, so that was cool. They did a really good job. I know the people that put it together, and they were all in with their heart, so that was cool.
Yeah, I love the pride that you have for teaching your students. There's this one actress that I'm friends with on Facebook that I've been trying to get on the podcast for like 2 years now. Unfortunately, she has a secretary who's like 20 years old and doesn't do shit. She
Oh, great.
She's always constantly posting. She's like, this student of mine just booked a commercial, booked a series or something, and it's just like, that is so awesome,
Oh, it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really is.
That that she's got all this pride for what she does. That is just so wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter runs the back end of the business, and I have a new full-time employee that's coming on in April, so I hope that she's still able to work. And then I have, Becca and a few people, and we're about to do a super blast with coordinating our announcements of student successes, because literally, I kid you not, there's so many successes, I can't keep track of them. It's like by the end of the week, when I start getting all the reports of everything we've booked, It's insane. And so I'm like, you guys figure out a way that we can have the actors upload directly their successes and pictures, so because it boggles down the whole studio when we try to sit down and just do that. I mean, it would take several hours minimum, because everybody books. It's cool. Everybody books. It's really exciting. Sometimes I'll get multiple actors, often on the same show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like random from their auditions, because their auditions are so good. So I'm very proud of them.
Yeah. I was reading that Jessica Lange was a mentor to you.
Oh, I never met her. She wasn't a personal mentor, but she's my mentor from afar, yes.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite actresses of all time. I just love her performance in Frances.
Oh, my gosh. Me too. One of my favorites. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watch that movie every once in a while, and I just love it. She's
so good.
She went through a lot while filming that movie too.
Did she? I don't know about that.
Yeah, she had just had a kid, and she went through a breakup at the same time, and so a lot of that went into her performance.
Yeah, of course. I just loved when American Horror Story came out, and a whole new generation of people said, "Well, have you ever seen this Jessica Lange?" I'm like, "Yeah, since the beginning of time."
Yeah.
It's King Kong, people, the original one, or not the original, but one of the remakes.
Yeah, the remake with Jeff Bridges and Charles Grodin.
Yeah, exactly. I did get to meet Charles Grodin once.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Well, he was directing and starring in a film that I auditioned for, and I don't remember the film at all right now. Maybe it'll be in that pile of scripts that I need to go through. And a group of us had gotten to callback. That's what happens. You get down to 3 to 5 on the final callback, and we were going to be in swimsuits in the show, and so they asked us to come in with some kind of workout gear or swimsuit or something, so production could see our bodies, right? Because it was an important part of the show. And it was no big deal. It was like fine. And I had a red one-piece swimsuit. It was very pretty. And so we're like tripping down in our audition, and he's literally so embarrassed. His face is as red as my swimsuit. And he's like, "Lancer," goes, "Okay, that's fine." And he was so cute because he was an actor, and he was thinking, "Oh, this is awful." And I remember that. It was cool. I met Sean Penn once when I was reading for one of his films.
Really?
And yeah, I went in and met him, and he had his orange hair. And I thought, well, okay, he's got orange hair. It wasn't as popular then to put color in your hair.
Yeah. Sean Penn's writing books now. He said a couple of years ago when he was on Mark Maron's podcast that he has a disillusion with Hollywood right now, and that he doesn't want to act anymore.
Excuse me, allergies. I'm not infected. I have allergies.
Yeah. Same here.
Yes, you can sneeze in public right now because they will hunt you down to do the witch trials on you. So
I know.
don't sneeze. Don't go out if you have to sneeze or cough at all. But yeah, Hollywood can be very disillusioning. That's for sure. So
I
you have
know.
to kind of take it in stride. Keep your own business about you up to the standards that you want them to be. Don't fall into the rest of it.
I know. Oh God, the certain people I've interviewed that are just bitter. Oh my God, there's two people in particular. They are both in Oregon now doing theater, and they are not happy about it.
Oh,
Yeah, Oregon is the place where actors
yes.
go to die.
Well, could be, I guess. But I think if they're doing theater, they're probably having some good times.
Yeah, they sure didn't sound like it. Oh my God,
Oh,
they were just they had a fuck Hollywood type of attitude. Every time I brought certain stuff up, and I'm thinking to myself, why did they agree to do this?
to do the podcast or to do their shows?
To do the podcast. Yeah,
They're just going to complain.
yeah,
Now, just because you're an actor doesn't mean you're not also a complaining, ratty person.
yeah.
Just like the rest of the world. I just choose to, I have a very good attitude, a positive attitude. I always have. I love to laugh and do my pranks and my funny stuff. And actually, I haven't done a prank in a while. I know the one that I was going to do next. I was going to do this one next for my kids. You take a turkey, and I'm sure you've already heard this before, but you have your turkey for Thanksgiving, and you go get a little hen and put it inside the turkey.
Oh yeah.
And when it cooks, you go, oh my gosh, this turkey was pregnant. And you pull it out. Everybody's faces would be mortified.
I had a Danish corn hen for the first time about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago or something, and it was not what I expected. I thought it was kind of a dry little chicken. That's all I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to them.
Yeah.
They're like a little accessory dish.
Accessory dish. Yeah, exactly.
They're not even a side. They're just an accessory, kind of like a Coach keychain or a Gucci belt.
Yeah. A Gucci belt. That's good.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing 13 Fanboy?
Oh my gosh, I loved it, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
When I came on, they had most of the cast set, and then I came on, and Deborah and I hit it off really well together. I just adore her. She's, the director and writer.
Yep.
And she gave me a really interesting role. And you might know some of the story. I don't know how much of the story you know, but it's about a stalker who comes after the actors
Right.
that were in the shows, right? And so I liked the idea of doing it because I had that stalker for 6 years and dealt with all of that and came through it fine. But it was, it wasn't easy. I got shot at in my own home by this crazy person, and mentally unstable person was probably the word I'm supposed to use, but it felt crazy to me.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to me. And so we shot in New Mexico. And, yeah, we shot in Rio Doso, is what it was called. And it was a fun little pretty town. But when shooting the scenes, my character is in one room that's like her bedroom when she's starting to see that something's out of place. And then the next time you see her, she's been kidnapped and is being held somewhere. And it was very gritty. We shot in this really dirty basement and a boiler room in my scenes. I was solid black soot all over.
Mm-hmm.
And she let me take the character to go to insanity from being held hostage. And I loved that. So that was really fun for me as an actress. And I hope the fans and everybody love it because I really got to dig in and I think show a lot of care and actually just start to lose your mind from it. Kind of like being held in isolation during COVID-19. It's kind of the same.
Yeah. It's funny you brought up the stalking thing. Having interviewed, everyone from the major horror franchises,
Yeah.
I have found that the Friday people, they've been able to handle their success
Yeah.
Probably the best of everyone. Um, Whereas the Nightmare people, they kind of have kind of like a passiveness towards it, and they seem somewhat to have resentment toward it. But you guys, I mean, you guys kind of almost laugh, laugh it off the
Oh
success you
yeah.
guys have. Yeah,
I think we probably do. We're a pretty fun group.
yeah.
Maybe the nightmare people had more trouble because it was in their dreams.
Well, there's that, and plus, I mean, it was a huge, major franchise, and there's a lot of crazy people coming out of the woodworks, to them.
They do. They do come out of the woodwork. They do have strong opinions,
Hmm.
and and that's true. But mostly, I have found they're super fans. That's what I've really found, and I would have never known that had existed if I hadn't started going to conventions and meeting them. Now I really love it. I talk to some of the fans on a regular basis, just like they're my regular friends, because I
Hmm.
know them.
Yeah,
It's
I,
cool. Yeah.
I mean, case in point, me, and
Yes, you.
I hate to call myself a fan though because I think of myself more like a historian, you
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
more than a fan. And I've done, a lot more stuff than an average fan could do. I mean, I've, gone to LA and had, dinner with my podcast guests and stuff. And,
Fun, fun.
I got offered that movie role, which I'm
Right?
still waiting on, by the way. The financing still hasn't been finished yet,
Yeah.
but still waiting for it and
Yeah.
stuff, you know. But yeah, the Friday people. I mean, you handle the fame very well. I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
And next week, I have Tom McLaughlin coming on.
Oh, how fabulous! I love Tom and Nancy. I know they're not together right now, but I know they're friendly.
Hmm.
Nancy made the my favorite Jason mask necklace that I wear when I do conventions. She made it and signed it to me on the back, and that's my favorite one. They're very nice people, very very talented people. Nancy was in my Freddy's Nightmares episode.
Hmm.
She
Oh
was
yeah,
she played the nurse who came in with the big eyes and all of that, and
yeah.
of course Tommy directed it. So
Did you see the status she posted the other day?
no, I didn't. What did it say?
Oh, she posted this beautiful status about how, she's been fighting addiction, for a long time, and that this quarantine is going to be a step in the right direction for her. And, she's finally facing, the word divorce, which was a word she hated,
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
but she's, she's moving forward and all that stuff. So I was so proud of her when she wrote that. Her, she's been on the podcast twice, and the second time, I could see that something was wrong,
Sure.
there was some awkwardness going on that I had to edit out of the episode. But
Uh,
I'm so proud of her though that she's moving forward.
I didn't even know she had an addiction. So
Yeah, I got the hint during that podcast that something was wrong because the first time when we talked, oh, we had a lovely conversation and we became fast friends,
mhm.
like you and I. But
Yeah.
it was something weird the second time, but
Oh,
I'm glad at least she's licking the problem now.
absolutely. I will reach out to her and say hello. Go check out her post and see what she has to say. She is a lovely person, and we're all human, and all kinds of things can get in our way. That's just the nature of us being human. You know.
And she's a devout Christian, and like at the end of both interviews, she like gave me a prayer on the air, which I thought was so nice.
Oh, that is so nice. That's wonderful. Yeah, she's really lovely. So I will reach out to her and touch base and say hello.
Hmm.
Thanks for the heads up.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. I had when you told me the other day that you were the youngest of five kids. I was like, wow, that's got to be one of the reasons we get along so well because I'm the youngest.
Of how many?
Okay, so my brother was born, and then my mom had four miscarriages, and then me.
Okay, so you're the youngest. Yeah, I consider myself as the youngest because my brothers and sisters are 10 and 13 years older.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I had different parents. You know, my dad was Army, so they had Captain Park, and I had Colonel Park. I had a different life. They lived on the base, and I lived in the officer quarters. So
Yeah.
Dude, I never saw my dad without gray hair, and all my brothers and sisters remember him with dark brownish red hair. I'm like, nope, not me. So it's funny because you have different lives, and if I were to look at the personalities of the baby of the family, it's usually, you know, the one that gets everything and does all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the baby, but I was also the only because I was the oldest, so I'm the oldest and the youngest. So I have all of the personality traits of all the ages of children.
Does everyone in your family have your eyes?
No, it was one of my brothers who passed away. He had blue eyes. My dad had blue eyes. Everybody else has. My sister has green, and my brother has dark brown. Mm-hmm.
But do they all have the same distinctive style that you have?
Which style? What do you mean?
The pale Meg Foster eyes.
Oh, no. I don't look like anyone in the family. I'm just glad my daughter and son resemble me.
Are you sure you weren't adopted?
Oh, they've said it since birth. I've only heard that since birth. I had blonde hair. They're all dark.
Mm-hmm.
My sister and brother have more of an olive complexion to them. And, yeah, no, don't look like anybody.
Oh, my God, that's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's funny because, I have brown eyes, which my mother has. My dad has blue eyes. And
Okay.
everybody on his side of the family had blue eyes, except for my uncle, who passed away about 5 years before I was born. And he's like a guardian angel to me and stuff. My mom believes that he's like my guardian angel.
Yeah, that can sure be a feeling that people get, no doubt.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about writing a book?
Well, I have the actor book done, but that's more of a how-to, and this is kind of some of the stories of how I did it. I've been writing a book on raising responsible children for a while. It's pretty much done. I find a lot of times that when you write, you get almost completed, and then you're just worn out from it. You don't even want to look at it again. You don't have anything to add to it, and you have to go back and remember that other people don't know the same things you know, and the book will help them. But or inspire them in some way. And so when you're writing them, it's just like, ugh, my life is so boring. I'm always saying that, oh, my life is so boring. And I know it's not. I know that. But each of us, we get kind of, we get a little bored with our lives or whatever we're doing, even though it can really, really guide someone else. So the story of my life my autobiography is called Lucky Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And that came to be because I was sitting with my sister in a cafe, and I said, I've been working on my autobiography, but at this point, I feel like I need to bring in a ghostwriter, and I'm going to talk to Mike, who did Kane's story, and did such a beautiful job. I've talked to him before. He had young children a couple of years ago, and, you have to really be ready to dig into some of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's really good. And I was sitting with my sister, and I said, I just don't know what I would call a book about myself because I'm such a lucky girl. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Because even though I've gone through crazy, I do feel incredibly lucky in my life. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Really do.
Yeah, you are. That's why you should write the book. You've had this incredible journey. Of adversity. Losing your husband and then the breast cancer and just you got a great story to tell, Lar.
Yeah. The earthquake, the big 7.2 in LA, and that happened when my son was just 8 weeks old and when my husband was ill. So it was just you go through a lot of things. The 6 years of soccer was incredibly difficult, just because no one would believe me, no one would listen to me. My sister believes me. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it was so bizarre that it would just seem like, how is this going on? It was very difficult to ever get any any actual help from authorities. It was very, very difficult. Hopefully that changes for people going forward. But this has just been, the last, well, it started, I guess, in '02 and went on 6 years. Yeah, it went on to about '08. So, craziness, but...
Oh, it's been a while, huh? Wow.
Yeah, it went on a long time. And then '08 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, the end of '08. And that went on for 17 surgeries. I had 17 different surgeries. So that was quite a process. I had severe medical malpractice, and you can't sue for it in Texas anymore. So I ended up cash paying my way through cancer surgeries and treatments. And that was really intense and incredible. I had developed quite a big real estate portfolio of owning properties, which is a very common thing for actors to do. And I sold each property off every time I had to have a major surgery. That's what I did. So I survived through it. And not easy at all. So a lot of stories that, and I've given talks about, people might want to hear talking about cancer, but I don't want to talk about cancer. I want to talk about, you're alive or you're dead. So stay living and keep going. Keep trying to find that next thing. Somebody else has it much worse than we do, really. Think of what other people are going through. I think that's what makes it hard to write an autobiography, because people have gone through so much worse. So you kind of think, oh, maybe my stuff's not as bad, that it would help someone. But I know it will. So I have it on the burner with the new employee starting in April. Hopefully she can take a lot off my plate at the studio, and I can get back to doing some of that, completing some of that work.
Yeah, that would be great. Just to have, one thing I've noticed the last couple of years, so many horror movie people are writing books, and I finally figured out why. It's because they don't want to answer the same questions at conventions no more.
Well,
so they're like, buy the book. Yeah, so they're like, buy the book.
Yeah, that's very true, but people also won't read the book, and then they'll still ask questions.
Yeah.
You know what? That's okay, because the question to whoever's asking it is important to them. So while we may tell the story over and over, it may be new to them, or it just may be fun for them to hear it. So that's kind of how I like to look at it. And I say, when I'm at a convention, I'm there for them, and I'm going to give them those 2.5, 3 days. I'm going to give it my all and make everyone feel as important as I can, because I appreciate them. And that's what I do. And then, I sleep for 2 days after.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I go into it with that idea. And Becca usually travels with me, and I'm like, you keep your spirits up. We have to be here for the fans. So that's kind of my battle cry when I go into a convention.
Yeah. I hope, after this coronavirus is over and stuff, I hope a con in California books you,
Oh, yes. I think that there was one on the books for later in the year. I feel like there was. I don't know what it is. I kind of don't keep track until I'm looking at the calendar. They all have names so similar,
Yeah.
Terrathon and Horathon and Fridathon and Monsterthon. And I'm like, okay, which one am I at?
Yeah, because I go to Monsterpalooza and I go to Sinister Creature Con. Those are the ones I like going to.
I feel like, haven't I done Sinister Creature Con? That one sounds very familiar to me.
Not one I've gone, no.
Oh, okay. Is that only in California?
Yeah, it's in Sacramento.
Okay. No, I don't think I have then. It's just like a bad creature con and a sinister creature con and a horror creature con. Yeah, I'm booked in London in November, so I'm excited about that. I'll be over for the birth of my grandchild in Paris, and then I'll hop over to London and get to meet all those folks, and that will be wonderful. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, ever since when I was in the hospital during my accident, I said to my mother, I want to go to Europe next few years, and
oh yeah,
we really want to do that. When everything calms down, we're definitely going to go to Europe.
Oh, you should absolutely. It's a really lovely trip, especially if you can immerse yourself somewhat.
Yeah.
What does your mom do that she hurt her shoulder at work?
She's okay. So for many, many years, she worked for the cable company through its various names, but of course we know it as Comcast now. And she was working an office job for a sister company of Comcast, a company that she does business for. And there was some equipment that was on the ground, something, I can't remember what, and she just tripped over it.
Oh man, that is not fun. Anytime you have injuries, they can stay with you a really long time. For sure, they really can.
Well, she went to the doctor yesterday, and she found out, yeah, her rotator cuff is never going to heal because of her age and just how bad
Right.
the injury was. She has to do very light lifting with it for the rest of her life.
Oh, that's really really complicated. I'm trying to get more strength in my arms too. I had a lot of different muscles, and I had a skin graft for a year from my back to the front, which was incredibly painful. And it's still very, very tight, a lot of the skin, so I have to work very slowly to build up muscle again. I understand it. I understand what she's feeling.
Yeah, when I was 23, I dislocated my shoulder. I was working at now it's called CVS, but back then it was Long's Drugs, and I was putting something back on the shelf, and my shoulder pretty much collapsed, and I was in a lot of pain for a long time that I was working there. If I could turn back time, I would have just quit that job because
Of course.
of the way I was being treated, and just for that injury alone, it was too much for me.
Yeah, hindsight really is something, isn't it? Sometimes these things are just too difficult with no apparent reason or surface reasons. That's when we need to go, is this where I need to be?
Hmm. There's so many things I look back at, and I was like, oh my god, I overstayed my welcome in so many places. Like
Mm.
this comedy club I was a regular at for a long time, for years. I overstayed my welcome there because I left for a while and then came back, and then I wasn't treated very good. And I was like, yeah, I just overstayed my welcome, but at least I left when I did, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Do you have any comedy shows coming up? Are you working on anything?
Now, I've been, taking a break from comedy for a while now. I'll get back into it, when I do get down to LA and stuff. Because I do miss going up. Because I do have, new stuff that I want to try out, especially what's going on in the world, especially, I'm not a political guy at all, but I do have some things I'd like to comment on.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
want to do that and stuff, but yeah, as far as going up, I haven't gone up in almost 2 years now since the week that I auditioned for America's Got Talent for the third time.
Yeah.
That was the last time I went up.
Well, we will all be there to support you when you do. That will be a ton of fun. You have a lot of people that will want to come.
Oh, thank you so much. I have I have a couple jokes for you,
Okay.
like usual. You know why men like to marry virgins?
So,
Because they can't stand criticism.
that's funny. Okay.
You know the difference between a golf ball and a G spot?
No.
A man will spend 20 minutes looking for a golf ball.
No. That's true.
Yes, speaking from a woman's point of view, you can confirm that.
I can confirm that, yes.
Someday you gotta tell me that joke that Joan Van Ark told you.
Oh, no. No, I will never repeat it. No.
I probably have heard it. I've probably heard it before.
I'm a lady, so that's definitely who I am in this world of everyone trying to be everything. I am absolutely a lady, and I will not repeat it.
What would you say is your best personality trait?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. I'm sure I have a lot of horrible personality traits.
No,
I was 50 before I realized, because I've been called a perfectionist my whole life,
right.
and I was literally 50 before I realized that was not a compliment.
I don't get it.
It's like I thought, oh, I'm a perfectionist. Oh, yes, thank you, thank you. And then when I got a little older, I realized that they weren't saying it as a compliment. It was kind of like, ew, you're a perfectionist.
There's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist because, it just means, you care about what you're doing and you're your own worst critic.
True, but I'm not that anymore. I am a reformed perfectionist, so I only choose my battles now.
You choose your battles now. That's good.
I choose them now. So instead of letting them choose me.
I would say my best personality trait is my sense of empathy.
Oh, that's very good. That's a really good one.
Yes.
I would say my best personality trait is probably my ability to motivate and inspire. I think that's probably it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, Lar. I could not agree more. You are the very definition of Southern hospitality.
Well, thank you. That's so sweet of you. So sweet. Thank you.
Yes, and I have found that I do very well with ladies from the South. They just love me.
Well, we do like interesting characters with lots of personality.
And people who are just genuinely real too.
Definitely, yes, definitely that.
Because that's what they are. That's what they are, and that's what you are.
Well, thank you. I try to be. I absolutely try to be. It does seem to be a part of a lot of our natures in the South. So, but I found that quality in people all over the world.
Mm-hmm. So that con you were supposed to go to in Arkansas is canceled.
That one canceled. One in Oklahoma canceled. And then the rest of them that were in between, I think probably they're all just, well, I think the one in Arkansas moved to August. I don't know when Oklahoma moved to. So I think it's going to back up this con season quite a bit. And the thing that can be difficult with that is people can't go to all of them at one time. So they're spread out through the year. Mm-hmm. You might make one now and one later, but fans can't attend, 10 cons in 2 months to even make up for the ones that were rescheduled. So
yeah, I think
it's going to be difficult.
I think a lot of them will be rescheduled. A lot of them will have to wait till next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping the ones this summer will not be canceled because I need my con fix.
Yeah, seriously, I really hope that by summer most people are back to work and it's more isolated of an issue, and I hope we're not going to go much further than that. I would like to see it over by June. I really hope it will be for most of us.
I think it will. Yeah.
If people would stay in, if the young people would do their best, that would help everyone. It's hard for young people because they don't feel sick and they don't see the virus. And that's the point. We don't see it. That's the point. So
mm-hmm.
It's hard to hide from a monster you don't know is there. And that's kind of what this feels like, especially to the young people. So
yeah,
hopefully we will have a generation. This generation will have more empathy as they go through this and understand more what other people are dealing with. That would be the greatest gift of all, because so many lives lost and so many lives affected. So we just have to be a kinder people on this earth and think of others as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely going to be fundraisers for people and stuff because everyone's going to be affected by this one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had to suspend tuition for actors, which is fine. We've suspended it out for a few months, and we're still going to keep doing classes, and if they're able to ever pay it back, that's fine, and if they're not, we just go forward. That's the way, the actors I work with, the students I work with, we are all intertwined. It's not a big conglomerate studio. It's, I do one-on-one coaching and a pro class, and we know each other very well. That's how I can design their careers and make their careers happen, because it's a personal business. And so all I could do was just kind of take it out far, because a lot of actors, I mean, it's the requirement for acting to wait tables. That's the requirement, and that's what actors do, including me. I did that in the beginning, and they've lost their jobs right now. Or I like to tell them if they haven't lost them, that they're more like on a furlough. It's like it will come back. Just hang in in as much as you can, buckle down and we'll go forward. But don't quit classes, don't quit attending online. Just all of us stay in touch until this gets passed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. So the one you were going to do in Arkansas got canceled. I know that Tuesday night she was scheduled to be there too.
That's right. She sure was. Yeah, we were both scheduled for that one. So I think that one is in August. I'm pretty sure that one's got moved to August. And I have the European cons, and then of course October. The new grandbabies due in October,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have that, and then I have cons all around it. So if things go as planned, I'll be traveling a lot September through December this year, as I think most of us will be. Most of the people involved in cons, I think, will be traveling quite a bit, and a lot of us are in the Europe show in London. So that will be fun.
And I hope our paths cross at some point.
Well, I hope so. I know it will. I just know it will, absolutely. And I want to thank you so much for having me on again and dealing with my schedule as we dealt with this past week. I would just do so much and then get tired and get overwhelmed like everyone on the planet. So we're all in the same boat with that. We're just humans. So, yeah, but thank you so much for being able to reschedule with me.
Of course. I adore you so much. There's,
Thank you.
there's very few people that I will be patient for, and you are one of them.
Thank you so much, Tommy. I am going to, as we end this call, I'm going to go get ready and start shooting cameos for people, and hope they enjoy getting them. So that would be a ton of fun.
And, what color are your toes painted?
My toes are turquoise blue today, Tiffany blue.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I guess they're going to stay this color a while since we can't go to the salon. Yeah. A lot of things are going to need some fixing by the time this is over. We're going to have to book spa weeks, not spa days. It's going to take weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna go do an elaborate color for my trip in LA in May, but since it's canceled now,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet. But I haven't painted my toes since my last trip in September, so I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure this out. I mean, we're going to start really looking like our real selves if we go too much longer. No one will recognize us. We'll look pretty scary.
All right, Lar. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tommy. Have a good rest of your day and your week, and send out a notice when you hit 1,000. I can't wait to celebrate that with you.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, when you get a moment, accept my friend request on Facebook.
I will go do it right now. I'll just knock somebody off the bottom and go in there. Do you know when you sent it last? Because there's like 5,000 on that list.
I believe it was probably after the first time we talked, which has been a while now.
Oh, gosh. So go in and see if it's still active and see if it'll put it at the top. It'll be easier for me to find it. But I guess I could type it. Maybe I could type it in the search bar.
I just did check it. Yes, it's still pending.
Okay, I'll go type it in the search bar, and you have it under your name, right?
Yes.
Your regular name.
Tommy Kovac, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I will go check it right now before I start filming.
Awesome. You have a great time filming today.
Thank you, I will. And I look forward to talking with you again soon and seeing that 1,000 hit.
Yes, yeah, you will know. Everybody will know.
Yay. All right, dude. I will talk to you soon. Take care. Much love.
Okay. Love you, Lar. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Lar Park Lincoln. Ain't she a sweetheart? I just love Lar. She's the real deal, and she's just a national treasure of the lady. And I thank her for coming on again and having a nice, fun conversation with me. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!